Virgo, I need you to remember the last time your phone rang and the screen lit up with those two words that make every nerve in your body stand at attention. Private number, no name, no face. Just the gray anonymity of a call that could be anyone, a telemarketer, a wrong number, a government office, a bill collector, or something else. Something that reaches through the glass and the circuits and the invisible signals bouncing off satellites and wraps a cold hand around your throat before you even swipe to answer. I need you to remember how your stomach dropped, how your mind raced through every possibility in the half second before your thumb moved, how you almost didn't pick up, how something in your gut, that ancient Virgo intuition that never sleeps, whispered a warning so faint you could pretend you didn't hear it. And I need you to know that the next time this happens, and it is coming, Virgo, it is already making its way toward you through the wires and the airwaves and the digital veins of this world. It will not be a wrong number. It will not be a sales pitch. It will not be some automated voice telling you that your car warranty has expired. It will be a person, a real, breathing, trembling human being on the other end of the line. And they are going to tell you something that is going to rearrange the furniture of your reality, something you are not going to want to hear, something that will make you wish you had let it go to voicemail. Something that will sit in your chest like a stone for days after the call ends, but you need to answer anyway. Because this call, as much as it is going to disturb you, as much as it is going to challenge everything you thought you knew about a person, a situation, or your own past, this call is a key. And the door it unlocks leads out of a prison you did not even know you were living in. I can see it happening. I can see it with a clarity that makes my own phone feel hot in my hand. It is going to come at an unexpected hour, not the middle of the night when you are already braced for bad news. Not the middle of the day when you are surrounded by people and buffered by noise. It is going to come in the in-between, the golden hour when the light is fading and the world feels suspended between day and night. Or the early morning, when you are still soft from sleep, your defenses not yet fully online, your mind still drifting in that vulnerable space between dream and waking. You will be alone. That is part of the design. You will be in a quiet room, maybe your kitchen, maybe your car parked in the driveway, maybe your bedroom with the curtains half drawn, and your phone will vibrate. Once, twice. The screen will glow with that maddening absence of identity, private number, and you will stare at it. You will feel your pulse in your fingertips. You will hesitate. And then, because you are Virgo and because your sense of responsibility is both your superpower and your Achilles heel, because you cannot stand the thought of missing something important, even if it scares you, you will answer. You will press the green button and lift the phone to your ear and say hello with a voice that sounds steadier than you feel. And there will be a pause, a breath, a silence so loaded it has texture, and then they will speak. I do not know exactly who this person is. The energy around them is deliberately obscured, which is why the number is private, which is why they are hiding their identity until the last possible second. But I can feel them. I can feel their heartbeat through the line. I can feel the tremor in their voice. I can feel the weight of what they are about to unload on you. This is not a stranger. This is someone who knows things, someone who has been holding information that belongs to you, but that they were too afraid, too loyal, too threatened, or too complicit to share until now. Maybe it is someone from your past who has been carrying a secret about a betrayal you never fully understood. Maybe it is a friend of a friend who witnessed something they should not have seen and has been sitting on the knowledge for months, years, until guilt or circumstance or their own breaking point forced their hand. Maybe it is someone connected to a person you trust, calling to warn you about what is really happening behind your back. Maybe it is a voice you recognize but cannot place at first, distorted by emotion and distance and the strangeness of the medium. Maybe it is someone you wrote off, someone you thought was out of your life forever, resurfacing with a single piece of information that changes the entire narrative of a chapter you thought was closed. Whoever they are scared. They are scared of your reaction. They are scared of the person whose actions they are about to expose. And they are scared of their own role in the silence they have kept until this moment. That fear is going to leak through the phone. You are going to hear it in the way their breath catches. You are going to hear it in the way they stumble over the first sentence. You are going to hear it in the way they ask if you are alone, if you are sitting down, if you have time to talk, as if the information they carry requires physical preparation, as if they are about to perform surgery on your life with nothing but words. And Virgo, I need to warn you about what they are going to say, because I have seen the shape of it in your energetic field, and it is sharp. It is not going to be violence, not physical violence, not a threat against your safety, though your body will react as if it is a threat. It is going to be a truth that violates your sense of order, your sense of justice, your sense of who you have been loyal to and why. They are going to tell you about a lie that was told to you by someone you trusted, a lie that was not accidental, not a white lie to spare your feelings, but a calculated, sustained architectural deception that shaped decisions you made, paths you took, sacrifices you offered. They are going to tell you that someone in your circle has been wearing a mask so convincing that even your legendary powers of observation miss the seams. They are going to give you details, dates, conversations that happened without your knowledge, agreements that were made about you without your consent, money that moved in directions you were not told about, loyalty that was pledged to you in your presence and withdrawn the moment you turned your back. They are going to tell you about a double life, a second phone, a hidden account, a secret relationship, a betrayal so fundamental that it will make you question your own judgment. Or they are going to tell you about something you did, something that was misrepresented to you, a choice that was made for you under false pretenses, a door that was closed by someone who claimed it was locked by fate when really they were holding the key. The specifics will vary. Every Virgo watching this will receive a different payload. But the common thread is this. The conversation is going to reveal that you have been operating on false information. And for a sign like yours, for a mind that runs on data, on accuracy, on the relentless pursuit of truth, there is almost nothing more disturbing than discovering that the file you have been working from is corrupted. You are not going to like this conversation. I want to be very clear about that. You are not going to feel vindicated in some satisfying way. You are not going to feel like a detective who finally solved the case. You are going to feel sick. You are going to feel the floor tilt. You are going to feel a rage so cold and so precise that it will frighten you, because Virgo does not explode outward. Virgo implodes. Virgo retreats into the laboratory of the mind and starts analyzing every interaction, every memory, every moment where you felt a flicker of doubt and talked yourself out of it. You are going to want to hang up. You are going to want to throw the phone. you are going to want to call the person being accused and scream until your voice gives out. You are going to want to unhear what you just heard, to rewind time by 30 seconds and let the call go to voicemail after all. You are going to want to crawl out of your skin and away from the responsibility of knowing, because that is the cruelest part of this call, Virgo. It is not just the information itself. It is the burden of now knowing. It is the fact that once this truth enters your ears, it becomes your property. It becomes your problem. You cannot pretend you do not know. You cannot go back to the comfortable illusion of trust. You cannot unsee the crack in the foundation. And that is why this anonymous voice, this private number, this stranger or semi-stranger or ghost from your past is calling you now, because they could not carry the weight anymore. Because they looked at you, or they thought about you, or they saw you living your life with your usual grace and diligence and quiet strength, and they realized that you were walking toward a cliff while believing it was a bridge. And something in them, some last scrap of conscience, some thread of connection to who they used to be before they got tangled in this mess, demanded that they warn you. Even if it meant calling from a number you could not trace. Even if it meant risking their own safety, their own relationships, their own carefully maintained position in whatever web of deception they have been inhabiting. They are calling because the cost of silence has finally exceeded the cost of speaking, and you are the one who has to pay the price of listening. But here is what I need you to understand, and this is why I am telling you about this before it happens. This call is not an attack on your peace. It is an activation of your power. It is a demolition order on a structure that was never stable to begin with. You have been feeling something for weeks, maybe months. You have been feeling a subtle wrongness, a frequency slightly out of tune, a detail that did not quite match the story you were being told. You have been brushing it off. You have been attributing it to stress, to your own anxiety, to your tendency to overthink. You have been gaslighting yourself, Virgo, because the alternative that someone you trusted was actively deceiving you felt too enormous to entertain. But your body knew, your dreams knew. That restless sleep, that unexplained tension in your jaw, that sudden aversion to a place or a name or a topic of conversation, that moment when you caught a micro expression and filed it away under probably nothing. It was not nothing. It was your system detecting the lie at a subatomic level. And this call, this horrible, unwelcome, private number call, is the external confirmation of what your soul has already been trying to tell you. It is the universe validating your intuition. It is the moment when the invisible becomes visible. And as much as it is going to hurt, as much as it is going to disrupt your carefully organized emotional landscape, it is also going to liberate you. Because you cannot be free in a house built on lies. You cannot thrive in a garden where someone has been poisoning the soil. You cannot love properly when the love is being funneled through a filter of manipulation. This call is the wrecking ball. And the wrecking ball does not destroy. It clears. It makes space. It exposes the rotten beams so that new construction can begin. When the call ends, and it will end abruptly, either because they hang up before you can ask too many questions, or because you hang up because you cannot absorb another syllable, you are going to be left in a silence that feels like a scream. The room will look different. The air will taste metallic. Your hands will be shaking. And your first instinct is going to be to act. to confront, to demand answers, to drive to the person's house, to send the text, to make the accusation, to force the truth into the light right now, tonight, before another minute passes. And I need you to resist that instinct. I need you to sit with the information before you weaponize it. Not because the person does not deserve confrontation, they do, but because you are Virgo and you do not go to war without intelligence. You do not burn bridges without knowing exactly which supports to target. You do not unleash your truth until you have verified your own ammunition. This caller has given you a gift wrapped in barbed wire, but it is still a gift, and you need to examine it before you use it. So you breathe. You write down everything you remember from the call, the exact words, the tone, the details. You do not let the shock erase the data. You treat it like evidence, because that is what it is. And then you wait. You wait 24 hours. You wait for the emotional tsunami to pass through you. You wait until your hands stop shaking and your mind returns to its usual crystalline clarity, because the move you make from a place of wounded shock will be messy. The move you make from a place of centered, righteous knowing will be surgical. And surgical is what you need. Surgical is what you deserve. I want to talk about who is on the other end of that line, because I think it matters for your healing. This caller is not a hero. Do not make them one. They are not riding in on a white horse to save you. They are a flawed human being who has been complicit in something that hurt you, either actively or passively, and who is now trying to clear their own conscience by dumping the truth into your lap. They may have benefited from the lie. They may have watched it happen and said nothing. They may have been the one who delivered false information to you in the past, playing their part in the theater of deception. Their call is not an act of pure altruism. It is an act of desperation. They are trying to save themselves from the karma of silence. They are trying to get ahead of a truth that was about to come out anyway through other channels, and they want to be the one who told you first, so that when the reckoning arrives, they are positioned as the informant rather than the accomplice. You need to see this clearly. You need to thank them for the information if you speak to them again, but you do not owe them gratitude. You do not owe them protection. You do not owe them a place in your life after this. They gave you a key, but they are not the locksmith. They are just the person who finally got tired of watching you try to open a door that someone else kept locking. And the person they are exposing, the one whose lie is about to be illuminated, I need you to prepare for the possibility that it is someone close, someone you have defended, someone you have made excuses for, someone whose name you have spoken with affection and loyalty, someone who has slept in your home, eaten at your table, accepted your generosity, and returned it with betrayal. I am not saying this to make you paranoid. I am saying this because the depth of your shock will be proportional to the depth of your trust. If it were a casual acquaintance, the call would not need to be anonymous. If it were a stranger, you would not need to be sitting down. The reason this conversation is going to hit you so hard is because it is going to dismantle a narrative you have been invested in. A narrative about a person or a relationship or a period of your life that you have framed in a certain way. And the demolition of that narrative is going to feel like a small death. You are going to grieve not just the betrayal, but the version of yourself that believed in the lie, the version of yourself that was loyal to someone who did not deserve it. The version of yourself that poured time, energy, love, and trust into a black hole disguised as a relationship. That grief is real. Honor it. Do not rush through it. Do not try to be the strong one who handles it with perfect composure. Let yourself feel the full, ugly, humiliating weight of having been deceived. Let yourself cry. Let yourself rage. Let yourself feel foolish, even though you were not foolish. You were trusting. You were open. You were giving someone the benefit of the doubt, because that is who you are. And the fact that they exploited that quality says everything about them and nothing about your intelligence. But Virgo, here is the miracle hidden inside the nightmare. Once you know, you are free. Once the lie is exposed, its power over you evaporates. Every decision you have been second guessing, every choice that felt wrong but you could not explain why, every time you felt crazy for sensing something that no one else validated, it all makes sense now. The puzzle pieces snap together. The pattern reveals itself. And with that clarity comes a power so absolute it will take your breath away. You will see, with perfect 20/20 vision, exactly how the deception was constructed. You will see the moments where the truth was hidden in plain sight. You will see the techniques used to keep you off balance, the gaslighting, the misdirection, the strategic affection followed by strategic withdrawal, the way your own strengths were weaponized against you. Your loyalty turned into chains, your forgiveness turned into permission, your attention to detail overwhelmed by a flood of manufactured chaos, so you could not focus on the one detail that mattered. You will see it all, and in seeing it, you will be inoculated. You will be immune to ever falling for the same architecture again. Your intuition, already sharp, will become a blade. Your boundaries, already present, will become walls of light that no deception can penetrate. You will walk away from this conversation not as a victim, but as an initiate. Someone who has passed through the fire of betrayal and emerged with eyes that see in the dark. What happens next is up to you. But I can see the timeline if you choose to move with the wisdom I know you possess. Within 48 hours of the call, you will begin to verify, quietly, without alerting the person under suspicion. You will check the details. You will look at the evidence with your own eyes. You will confirm what you were told, not because you do not believe the caller, but because you need to know the extent of the rot before you decide how much of the structure needs to come down. And as you verify, you will feel a strange calm descend over you. The calm of a general surveying a battlefield and realizing that the enemy has already lost. They just do not know it yet. Because you are not going to explode. You are not going to rant on social media. You are not going to burn the house down with gasoline and matches. You are going to make a plan. You are going to decide what you need, what you want, and what you are no longer willing to accept. You are going to gather your resources. You are going to shore up your support system with the people who have always been real with you. You are going to make copies of important things. You are going to secure what is yours. You are going to prepare your exit or your confrontation or your restructuring with the same meticulous care you apply to everything in your life. And when you are ready, when every piece is in place, when you have fortified yourself so thoroughly that no counterattack can touch you, you will act. You will speak. You will look the liar in the eye and you will say, I know. And the look on their face will be worth every sleepless night. Not because you are cruel, but because you are free. And freedom, Virgo, is the most beautiful and terrifying thing you can wear in front of someone who thought they had you trapped. I want to tell you about the aftermath because I think you need to know what is on the other side of this call. The first week is going to be hard. Your sleep will be shallow. Your appetite will be unpredictable. You will have moments of doubt where you wonder if the caller was lying, if you misunderstood, if you are overreacting, if you should just let it go and maintain the peace. Those moments are the old programming trying to reassert itself. Do not listen to them. The peace you are trying to maintain was never real. It was a ceasefire built on your silence and their deception. Real peace comes after the truth. The second week, you will start to feel angry, really angry. Not the hot, explosive anger of other signs, but the cold, precise anger of a Virgo who has been wronged. You will start to see the insult in every detail, the way they underestimated you, the way they thought you would never find out, the way they treated you like a fool while you were treating them like family. That anger is fuel. Use it. Use it to clean house, literally and figuratively. Use it to purge their energy from your space. Throw out the gifts, change the passwords, rearrange the furniture, wash the sheets, burn the sage. Scrub every corner of your life until there is no trace of their residue. The third week, you will feel empty. The anger will have burned through its fuel source, and you will be left with the hollow space where the lie used to live. This is the most dangerous week. This is when you will be tempted to reach out, to seek closure, to ask why, to try to make sense of it with the person who caused it. Do not. The hollow space is not a problem to be solved. It is a womb. It is where the new you is being formed. Fill it with silence, fill it with solitude, fill it with the things that have always been true for you, your work, your routines, your small, perfect pleasures. The fourth week, you will feel something unexpected. You will feel light, lighter than you have felt in years. You will wake up one morning and realize that your shoulders are not tense, that your jaw is not clenched, that you have not checked your phone for a message from them in days, that you do not care what they are doing, who they are with, what lies they are telling now, because they are not your problem anymore. The call set you free. The truth set you free. And you are already moving forward into a life that is so much cleaner, so much truer, so much more spacious than the one you were living before. And here is the final thing I see, the thing that makes me smile through the heaviness of this message. After this call, after the dust settles, after you have rebuilt your boundaries and reclaimed your peace, you are going to receive another call, not from a private number, not from an anonymous voice, but from someone who has been watching you, someone who saw how you handled the storm, someone who was waiting for the space to open up, for the false structure to collapse so that they could step forward without competing with a ghost. This person is real. This person is honest. This person has no private numbers, no hidden agendas, no masks. They are going to call you openly, clearly, with their name on the screen and their heart in their voice, and they are going to tell you something very different. They are going to tell you that they see you, that they admire you, that they have been waiting for the right moment to ask if you would be willing to let them know you better. And because you answered the hard call, because you walked through the fire of truth and came out the other side with your integrity intact, you will be ready to receive this easy call. You will be ready to say yes to something that does not require investigation, does not require verification, does not require you to sit down before you hear it. You will be ready for honest love. And that is the gift hidden inside the curse. The private number call clears the path for the named number call. The liar's exposure makes room for the truth teller's arrival. You just have to survive the first conversation to get to the second one. So when your phone rings, Virgo, and the screen shows those two empty words, private number, and your stomach drops, and your hand hesitates, and every instinct in your body says, do not answer, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember that you were warned, that you were prepared, that you are not a victim of bad news, but a recipient of necessary truth. I want you to lift the phone to your ear. I want you to say hello. I want you to listen. I want you to let the conversation hurt. I want you to let it burn. I want you to let it demolish whatever needs to be demolished. And then I want you to hang up, breathe, and begin the work of building something unbreakable in the empty space that is left behind. Because you are Virgo, and no one rebuilds better than you. No one turns ruins into temples with more precision, more grace, more sacred attention to detail. The conversation is coming. It is not going to be pleasant, but it is going to be the beginning of your liberation. And that, my love, is worth every uncomfortable second. If you felt the weight of this message, if your stomach tightened while reading because some part of you already knows who is lying, if you are ready to receive the truth no matter how much it hurts, I want you to claim your readiness. Drop a comment below and write, I am prepared for the truth. Let the universe know you will not hide from the call when it comes. Let your own soul hear you say that you are strong enough to survive what is revealed. And if this reading found you at the exact moment you needed to be warned, subscribe for more messages that see the shadows and speak them into light. The phone is going to ring. The number will be hidden, but your eyes are already open, and that is all the protection you need. Answer the call, Virgo, and then walk away from everything that breaks.